Hi friends, welcome to Tutors Funny channel. Today I am going to teach Node.js with React full stack development course step by step. Let us show the demo first. Okay, so here first I am going to add the record. So how to add the record? You can see here I am going to add the record for James address India mobile number. I am going to write some mobile number. Click register button. Now you can see here the employee registered successfully. Click OK here. The newly registered employee will be displayed here. The ID should be auto increment. Okay, auto generated ID. Okay, this is auto generated ID. Okay, more secure ID. It will be generated. Right now here, if you want to add the record, you will be able to see the record on the table below. If you click edit record, click edit button. Here, editable record will be shown in the table. You will be able to edit the record. Now, if you have changed the records, what you need to change, click there is a button update. This time record updated successfully. Now the updated record will be shown the table successfully. Okay, right? That's simple stuff. Now if you want to delete the record, click delete button. Employee deleted, the record has been deleted. How to do the system step by step will teach. Node.js. You just type on the Google Node.js. You go to the respective website. Here where you can download the Node.js. Right? No, download and you have to install your machine. After install it, you have to download the Mongodb, right? Mongodb download. You have to go and download here, right? Mongodb, right? Here go and type here, try for free. You have to download it and install your machine, right? You have to fill the form and you can download it. You can register and after that you can download it, right? After that you have to install the MongoDB Compass as well, right? Now then you will be able to get this MongoDB Compass. This is the MongoDB Compass. You will be able to get it. That you have to open them, right? So it will be open up, right? The first you have to install the Node.js. After install them, you can get the MongoDB Compass. Here where you have now you have to create the database, right? So here this is a server default you have created. You can see here the localhost. This is a server, right? So you have click connect. Your database has been connected, right? Your database has been connected, right? So here, if you want to create the new database, you click on the plus symbol. Okay, this one should be the database name here, collection. In MongoDB, this is a NoSQL. NoSQL means this is not a structure, right? This is a NoSQL, right? This is not a relational database, right? So here, you can see here, database I'm going to create as whatever name. I'm going to create BBC. Okay, okay, this is the database BBC, right? I just name it as the BBC school or something, right? Some institute. EST. I just use EST, right? So after that, the collection I'm going to create as the table name. Table name is I'm going to create this as employees. Employees a table name. You have to create yes employees, right? The plural. You have to type as a plural. The collection is that is a efficient way to create the collection plural employees, right? Okay, this database name EST, right? This is a database, this table name. Whatever database name you have, school management system or hospital management system, you have to create. Okay, right? Right. Now let's click create. Now here your database has been created EST. Inside here, this is the structure. You can see here. Sorry, this one employees. You can see the employees, right? So this is the structure you have created, right? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to now you have created the database, right? So and tables. This is table means the collections. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to install the another important thing is VS Code editor. This editor helpful to write the Node.js code. VS Code editor. You have to download and install the code. This is must. This editor is must. You have to work with the Node.js, right? So this must, right? You click and install your machine, right? After done the stuff, what you're going to do is I'm going to create the Node project, Node.js project I'm going to create. So I'm going to go to the E drive. So here I'm going to create the new project Node.js new projects. I'm going to create the folder. Here now I'm going to create a new project of Node.js. So click on the address bar, type cmd. Here, open up your command prompt. Here you type npm init. Press enter key. It asks the package name. I just press enter key. Version enter. This one, if you want, you can fill them. At the moment, I don't need them. This one, I am going to enter this one, right? Right. It will generate the package.json file, right? So you have to press yes. Right. You can see the package.json. Only the one file is created. Now you have to open the MS VS Code editor. You have to type it again cmd code space dot. Your project will open up the VS Code editor. Look like this. Now here, trust for that. In package.json, you can see the file, the single file. Here only the node project, your version, all the things are there, right? Now here, node is a package management. Now here we have to install the Nodejs server. The server means here the server is where communicate with the front end, right? Backend and front end. Backend in Node.js, there's an Express editor. Okay, in PHP, Laravel, PHP, and Java, Spring Boot, those are the framework. Here, this one should be the Express. That is the server you are running. Now let's go to the Google and type over here Express, npm Express. You type simply Express. It goes to the relevant npm model. Okay, it goes here. You have to find the link to install that. Right. First, you have to get the link over here. After you have experience, you just type npm I Express. I mean it stands for install. Okay, there are things. Click copy. Right. So how to import it here? It will be telling how to import this package. Right. So let's back to my uh, project. This is my project, right? So now here I'm going to open the terminal. It's simple, very simple. If you open up the terminal over here, right? So here I'm going to type npm I Express. Okay, I have typed like this. You just copy and paste. It will be work. It's don't worry. Okay, then you will be able to see all the package need to be installed. Okay, all the node modules package need to be installed. Just wait until the package get installed. Now you can see here node modules packages are installed successfully. All the packages are installed. Right, very simple. Right. After done the stuff, what you're going to do is you have to install another module that is a mongoose. Right, mongoose. So out in goes npm mongoose. Mongoose is the package. Here we have to communicate with the database. This also npm I mongoose. You just copy this one. You can see paste it over. This is also the terminal in VS Code editor. Press enter. Now you have to wait until the mongoose package get installed. Okay, don't close anything in here. Okay, you have to wait until the process completed. Right, this all the packages completed, then only we will be able to work. Right, so don't skip or anything else. You just keep while the installation completed. Now my package, all the packages installed successfully. Right, my mongoose, right, package. So you have to go and check the package.json. Now you can see here the dependencies installed Express as well as mongoose. Both are installed. So you can check on the file. Just open the file on package.json and you can check whether it is installed or not. It installed successfully. You can get them inside the dependency. You will be see. Right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to start this server. So here simply you can click this plus symbol, this icon. Now here I'm going to create the new page. This is server.js. Here we have to implement the server. So we already we done the Express editor. We have installed. First you have to type var. This is a data type. So Express equal required. We have to implement the namespace. Okay, like Java you have to write import Java. Same thing, you have to import the server over here Express. Then only you have to express the server. Now here implement the server successfully. Now after that, this server you have to call this var server equal express. This we have to call it. Then only it will work. Sorry, server express. Then it work. Right. Perfect. Now what I'm going to do is, what I'm going to do is, we have done this stuff. Now I'm going to set a port. What is the port the server is running on? So the server dot listen the port. You have to give any port. Now I'm going to run it 8000 port. What about you can give, right? There's a port where your server is running, right? That's the thing we have to do it again. Okay, now here we have to write like this. Now what I'm going to say, I'm going to check whether it is working or not. You have to create a function check error. You have to write this efficient way. This is the way you have to follow, right? It's very simple. If error, if error, you have to write here console dot log error. Else, for the else part, right? If it is started, you just copy this one, Control C to copy, Control V. This one should be started, right? Now here, this one we have to call. This is not an efficient way to call this. Whether the port is running or not, you just this function. How to call this inside this function? In this bracket, you just comma this function. You have to Control X to cut off and paste it over here. Okay, this is the way you have to follow. This is a very simple way. This is how we have to write the function. So this is how it will be work. Right, very simple. Right, now let's type how to check with this server. Sorry, node server .js. Right, the problem is this. We have to write, but we didn't call it. That's why it didn't write. Okay, so we have to call this one is here is you have to write server. You have to call it over here server. Server use express .json. Right. Save all. Again, you have to paste it here. Now here you can see that no problem. Your server is started. The code's no problem. Your server is started. Right. This is how we have to running the server. Okay. Now the server is successfully running on your machine. Right. The Nodejs server is running successfully in your machine if you write the command. Right. Perfect. Right. After done the stuff, you have to call server use express JSON mean it will be running. If the port is okay, it will be running. Right. Now after that, what you're going to do is you have to establish the database connection. So I already installed the Mongoose in my machine. After that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to write the variable var Mongoose. So write the variable Mongoose equal. Here also the same thing, you just copy and paste it instead of writing. Here also you have to change this one as a Mongoose. This library, Mongoose library, right? You have to call this if it is any problem. Here this is what is the name here, given the same name, you have to put it over here. Okay, avoiding the spelling mistake, like Mongoose. Perfect. Now what I'm going to do is here, this server we have to get them to implement the namespace here. No problem. Okay, this we implement the namespace. Now here we have write mongoose dot connect. We have to connect the server. So write it over here. It's connection. Mongoose connection. You have to write here. Simply you have MongoDB. You have MongoDB. You have to write MongoDB. You have to write slash localhost this connectivity. Simply you have to get the connectivity over here. When I connect the first time, you will be get the connection project. Okay, you have to connect here this one. Here this one. Simply you have to get this URL. Okay, right? This URL you can get. If you have any problem issue with this one, you can get the URL or like this. Your database name is what's the database I have created. This name you have to give. First name EST is a database name. EST is which is a database name, right? That's it. That's the thing you have to write. After that, you have to close this one, right? So after that, what you are going to do is here we have to do the thing is we have to check this this as well. So we have to write a function. So we have function here also function that function here also function check db error check db. This also you have check it if error if error if it is error console this one is something you have to call it instead of writing call that right db error it's called error otherwise it is running this db sorry you have to run it here db connected right db connected perfect. Now what you are going to do is this is also the arrow function, right? This one's also we have to paste control x to cut off comma you have to paste here. It's working, right? Working. This is how you have to do the things. After that what you are going to do is another thing is this is mask, right? So you have to write right inside here you have to call the two things. This is mask, right? So I'm going to go to my uh, project, right? So here this is the two things are must, then only the project is running. Here this one use url pass, then only the urls all the things are work without any problem, right? You have to pass this one, right? So here it open the bracket and close bracket here comma, then only the error, right? So that's it. Okay, this is simple stuff. Don't worry about this. Also I provided you will be able to run it, right? The simple one. Okay, instead of writing you have to just copy and paste it. Okay, the new user trial true topology true, or make it. This is simple stuff. After done stuff, we'll check whether the our database connect is okay or not. Let's control C to copy, control C to stop the project, rerun it again. Node server JS. Right, started. What is the error? This error function is not defined. What is the error here? Right, the problem is over here. Here the other thing is here error we didn't do it here. What's the error? Then only it will work. The function I have written it's a blank function. Inside the function we have to type error. Then only this error is coming here. That's why it show the error. Save all again. You have to type again. Now your DB is connected successfully. Your DB is connected successfully. I hope you guys you understood the things well. Right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead. After done the stuff, I'm going to go to create the new folder which is a routes. The routes manage all the URLs, right? So right click inside the routes folder. I'm going to create a file which is a routes.js, right? The file which manage all the URLs management, right? So okay. Now here also the routes file also what you are going to do is we have to the same thing you have to implement this express server this namespace you have to implement it over here. After that we have to use this we have to write over here as the thing is we have to write first route but right here comes this one concept variable. This is the way you follow that router equal express dot router. That's the thing you have to write express router. Here you have to write this router dot route. Here you have to mention the URL. Okay, if the URL is coming dash you have to write user, so user you write getter get all. If the URL coming, what happen is you have to go to the get user controller. I haven't created this page yet. I'm going to create this page. Get data function. It's called the get data connect controller function. Controller f1 means function. That's it. It goes to that particular function to get the things, right? So this is the URL is coming, right? So let's go to the server and do the thing is here. Very simple, you have to do the stuff, right? So first you have to the server, we have to add the path of the route. We have your server is running, your server is called the routes. So routes, okay, the variable routes required you have to write like this routes. Yeah, the routes, these are the for routes slash route. This what is the file routes. That's the thing you have to write. This is the path you have to give. Okay, the routes where this is you have to create the variable routes required your dot routes, yeah, inside the file routes, right? It's there. Okay, we go here. The server file is here. It goes inside this folder. Right? You have to go type like this. Now it's current directory. Slash mean you have to go inside the folder slash routes. Inside the routes, you have a file called routes.js. But because you have to outside the here this you are outside the server.js, outside the routes folder. If you access the routes folder, what you have to go to the path dot mean now you are in the current directory. This is the directory is a current directory. This is a dot slash. This is a slash. If you go inside the things slash means slash inside the things you have to go to access this file slash routes. This file you have to access. So you go to the path like this. Right. Perfect. That's stuff you have done it. Now you have to use this route as well. Okay, so how to use route as well. Here you have to using all the things. Right, the route as well. So how to use the routes. Here also you have to write server. You have to tell them the server to call the routes. So use routes. These routes. So give the path. This path you have given over here. That's the thing. You have to do it here. Perfect. Let's save that. Right. Now everything you have completed. Now what you are going to do is here. Is there any URL issues? Right, that's something. The problem is the RESTful API access problem. You have to write this cross. You have to write constant cross because the URL API access they have the problem. Okay, the API access. If you get the problem, you have to write this in order to solve the problem. You have to import this. Right. Okay, import this one. So you have to write the Control C to copy, Control C to stop the server. Now this one you have to type npm I right cross right it package is installed. Right, perfect. Okay, the RESTful API problem which is work without any problem. You have to use this one also. You have to connect with the server dot use cross call the method. That's it. That's the thing you have to write. Perfect. Right, now all the things are working perfect. Now what you're going to do is go to the routes. You have to go to the get, or if you get the function it goes to this particular function. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the folders. Okay, so I'm going to put the folder. So I'm going to type here, create the folder which is a you can type the src. You have to create the folder src. Inside the src folder you have to type the folder user. So this is the file structure you have to create. This is the efficient way to type the folder structure. So sorry, this is inside the routes, so we have to delete them. Not inside the routes. These are. So create the folder here outside the routes. src. Inside the src folder we have a new folder called user. Inside the user folder we have to create all the things, right? So user control, you have to create the file user controller. .js. After this, another file you have created, user service .js. Right, so user. After that, you have created another file which is a user model user model.js. Okay, right. These files are important to create the Crud application system. Right. Now what you're going to do is, now you've done the pages, right? This is a page. Okay, when the URL is coming, you can see this URL in the routes. When the URL is coming, it goes to the page which is a user controller. This is a user controller get action method. Okay, now let's go to the user controller. This is a user controller. You have visited the user controller, right? Now what you're going to do is, I am going to, instead of this writing, I just copy this one. Don't worry about it, I'll be explain it. I'm going to paste it over it. But if I write it, it take too much of time to complete. That's why I just paste it. You have to create a variable var get date get controller function. You have to write like this is function. This same function. Which function? This model function. Sorry. This route function. This same function. Sorry. This I have the spelling mistake. Same function. Control C to copy. I paste it over here. Right. The same function is coming over here. And here I'm going to type this one as a employee. This employees. Employee. But employee. To get the employee data. Paste it over here as well. Right. Okay. So you have to create a variable. So here var, this is your method. Okay. Here you have to write, if you have put await, you have to type this one assign. Okay. So here request and response. There's two parameters, request and response. Okay, get the request. This is a request you are getting from the URL, right? Okay, you get the response. So it can't get the response here. So here this function create the variable employee await. Okay, so here one task is complete, another task work. That's why you put await function. So here service, it pass the request to the service. Service is process which you communicate with the model, right? So here service has a function get data from the DB service, right? If the service, if the thing is coming, it will be get the response and sending back to the routes, right? So what you're going to do is, now we have to make the service page. We have already service page, you have to make it. So this user service. Okay, so go to the service. What you're going to do is, now service page, right? Service page also the same model. I just copied, paste over here, right? Paste it over here. Now you can see it's a model. Here simply you import all the things, model export, then only it will be export to another class. Okay, so here to export model export get from DB service. So a new promise is the one which will be handling the all the request, right? Promise, inside the promise we have to create a function, right? So we have to create the function. You have to check the function check. I gave this URL, right? Check URL. I create the function check URL. It has two things, resolve and reject. If the result is success, resolve will be work. If the result is failure, reject will be work. In the promise will be handling all the URL stuff, right? It is handling the stuff, right? So here it's passing to it get the service. What is the service that it will be getting? Loading the data. So it passing the promise. Promise has a two function, resolve and reject, right? So it will be passing to the model. So user model find, you have to get all the data. So you have to write the array look like this. So function return, we have created two variables here, error and result, right? How to create this one I have already explained, right? Then if it is error, it will be rejected false. If it is success, result will be there. It is success, it will be result will be passing to the front end, right? Now what you're going to do is, we have a model. Go to the model, it's a user model. So user model, I'm going to create the schema of the database. You have to create a schema of the database, right? So schema, I'm going to create the model. So Control C to copy The same thing, I'm going to paste it over here. I'll be explaining, don't worry about that. Because if I take too much of time to complete the project, if it is if I'm going to create, okay, this is the employee. We have created the table, whatever is the name of the table you have created, which name is employees. Here this table is the employees. EST employees. This is a table. This is schema. So employee table, we have some data. I'm going to create something. Name. I'm going to create name, address, phone. These are the address, phone. These are the things data we have to create. Okay, only the three data. Okay, I have created name, address, mobile, phone. This is simple data. We have created three data only. Okay, this is simple data we have to create. Right, these three columns are there. Let's save all. Right, let's save all. This is the thing. Right, ID will be auto generated. Okay, so here these are the columns you have created. So first you have to implement the mongoose. Require mongoose with schema. You have to create the schema. Mongoose has a library called schema. You have to create the variable user schema, new schema. You have to create these columns. Okay, columns name with the appropriate database. Right here we are not do any calculation part, so we can give as a string as a phone number. Right, so these are the schema we have created in the database table. Right. Okay, if you call this user schema, it will be created. Right, so let's save. Right, that's it. That first when the request is coming, how the process work, the URL is coming, user get out, it's go to the controller function, right? Controller get data. So go to the controller. So here we have to give the user service. So user service path we have to give. So how to give the user service path? Here this one. So it will be given over here. Okay, we give the path. Here it will be the get controller is communicate with via here where the model service. So service path you have to give. Service communicate via model. So model is path also we have to give. Okay, so how to give the path model? Sorry, service this one the model. That give the model path as well. User model. Model is the path communicate the database, right? So this is the path you are given. Route also we have to given the uh, route also we have to given this one. This the controller path we have to given as well. The controller part. So the route is on you, it will be communicate with the data routes, because two folders here, you are inside this folder. Two dot mean here, you are inside users. User is inside the src folder. So you have to go // src user. So folder name after the access. That's how the URL works. The route here coming here. First you have to access // src means go outside the folder, and src user controller, then only we access the route to this file. This file be access into the user file dot, this is a current directory / me, this goes to the service. The service will be access the model, current directory is dot / model, it will be access the model. This is how the URL will be made. Very simple. Now you have an idea. If the URL is coming user / get all, it goes to the controller, user controller, and user controller will be passing the request to service. Service is the process which will be communicate with the database, and we will be get the data. If the data has come successfully, it will resolve. If there is any problem, it will be rejected. Right? It passing to the output to the routes. Right? We successfully complete the get all part. So now I'm going to go to create the data. So I'm going to create this URL, right? So let's just copy and paste it. Otherwise, we take too much of time to complete this project, right? So I'm going to paste it over here. Now you can understand. I'll be explained here. If the URL is coming, this is a route. We have to get it and call it here. There's a property called route. Outright this one I explain it. The same thing you have to write over here, right? When the URL is coming /user create, This is a post. This is the get the data. We have to get method using the get method. If it is a post data, if you have using the post method, right? User controller, create user controller FN, right? This is the method you have to create, right? Create use. This is the function which will be create the records, right? After that, what you are going to do is after that, if you get the date, create controller function, right? After that, what you are going to do is it scores the user controller when the request is coming. When the UI, when you type the URL, look like this. Okay, so it is goes to the user controller create action method. So you go to the user controller. You have to create the separate method. Uh, what's the method you have to create? Create user control. So here I have already created. So I'll be copy and paste. Then only will be able to understand that, right? So I just copy paste. Right. Paste it over here. Right. Paste it over here. Now let's this one. I no need then. Right now here you can check here when the request is create user controller fn. Fn mean function. We shortly have type fn assigning assign task. So here you request and response you write to functions. So here we have to write this one as a we have to write this one also. We no need that, right? Let's get rid of these lines, right? Now you can see here when the request is coming, this is the function, right? Create user fn, this function. The request is coming. This is the passing to the user service to create the records, right? The when the it is passing the user service to create the request. The request body stated is coming successfully. User created. Otherwise, here error create the user, right? So let's go to here. We already create the one here as uh, get the data. Now you have to create the data, add the data into the database. So I have created code here as well. This one, get the data, remove the data, create the data. Paste it over here. This one I'm going to, we don't need the, we have to change the fields and all. We change the fields and all. The user model is a model. We are calling the user model to get the data into the database, right? Schema. So here we have to first, what is the fields we have? What is the schema? We have to check the schema. Name, address. So you have to write over here the service name. Sorry. Address, phone. This line we get rid of this line. But pass it this here. Name, address, phone. That's it. Right. Now this is a service. Okay, so here the service also we have to get the service also same thing. This is the function in the service, user details. So you have to create here the promise. I already explained what is the purpose you have to create the promise. Promise is the one who manage the request. Okay, there is inside the promise there is the two functions we have created: resolve and reject. If the request is successfully, it is resolved. If it is a failure, it's rejected. Right? It passing two functions. Right? So here we have to set the data. Okay, these are the fields, right? Name and address, phone number. Okay, so it will be this one created in database. So if it is correct, the details, right? The details. The details. If it is correct, so here use a save. Here there will be the save function handling error request. If there is any problem, it will be rejected. If the result is success, it is the result. That's the thing it will be doing. That's perfect. That's the thing we have done it in the service, right? Perfect. Now let's go. Here we done two things, right? So here what you are going to do is here I have to export it. Service no need there. Right. So let's go to our project. This my project is the controller project. It's a controller. Right. So here I have to export them. This one I will explain it, get function and create function, right? We have to export it. Okay, so we have create the function, this particular two function. We have to export the outside. We have to write model exports. We have to put it this way. Then only we will use this function. It's outside. Okay, no, right? So that export. Here service also we have to write this. We already written like this. Okay, if you want, you can write like this. Okay, if you have create the function and finally you have to get output it. Right, that's simple. Right, you have to do likewise. Right, so you have to do like this way or that way. Okay, both are nice. So if you want to write like this, well, this also works. Okay, you have to write var, the same thing like here as well. Var, you have to write like this. Okay, perfect. Here you have to create the arrow function over here, right? Now let's check whether it's working fine or not. Right now, let's save all. This project we save all. Now let's open the Postman. Postman is the we have to check the request whether it's working fine or not. Now let's see how to run the server. You have an idea. Okay, what server? Sorry, not server dot js. This is a file you have to run it and check the request. While running the project, I have got the error as dot user service because I have given here as in user controllers user service, but this is not a service. Yes, service only have given. That was the error. Spelling mistake here. The page you have created user service here, user services. Right. Again we have going to run it. Right. The error display, what is the thing is model I haven't exported. That's why here the export, then only it will be work. Right here, other pages you can here export, models also export, the schema, the models, the schema also export, service also export. You have to write the exports, right? So that's why the problem you have to now you can write here. Now it's started DB connected. Now let's check the URL, right? So let's go to the URL. So what is a port? This is the port you're checking. Localhost HTTP localhost. This is a port you're checking, right? So this is the port, right? So HTTP this localhost, right? This you have to type localhost. So go to the Postman. You have to type localhost. What is the port? You have to type the port. Port. I'm going to check it. What's the port? This is a port. What is the port you are doing the server? 800 port. You have type on the post method. This one should be the post method. I'm going to insert the record, right? Post. Right, so what is the URL? Now you have to type the URL. What is the URL you're going to type? I am going to type the URL as first I am going to insert the record. So create. Right, so here you write body row. So type like this. That you type the URL like this. The post URL, right? You write this post URL also here. What is the URL you're going to type? So name. This one should be the address mobile. Add some value. Address India. Mobile number you have to write like this, something like that. Okay, click send button. The here the problem the get the response. What's the problem? There's a problem with the URL or something. Here click routes create. Here there's a problem, URL problem here. Model data, it's saying there you go what's the page and 29. So use the model name, use the details name. So you go and check user detail is not defined. So you go to the model. user controller. Okay, these details you can check over here. That's why that's the error. Here the details, there's a problem, it's a spelling mistake, right? So let's save all. Okay, you have to write like this. Okay, then only if you get any error you will be able to solve up. Right, now let's again check it. Now again, if you get the request, again we get the problem. Couldn't respond, again get the problem. What the problem it is? The problem is this. Here my models, here phone, here written is a mobile. That's the problem. That's it. Again, I'm going to run the project. That's why it won't work. It's working. Now that's the problem. Now here, user created. Right. Now let's back to my database and check it. This is my database. I'm going to refresh it. Here it's working. Now if you are going to add the record, uh, Peter John Gmail, phone number this one, click user created, back to my database and check it. It's working. Now it's working perfectly well. Now if you have to get the data, so how to use the URL? What the URL we have to use? You can find it or this is the URL. Back it here, post it over here. At this time not a post method, it's a get method. It's a get request. So here none. Click send. It's working. Okay, it's working perfectly well. It's working perfectly well. Right. Thank you for watching. I'll be getting in touch with in my Node.js Angular Part 2 tutorial. Thank you. Hi friends, welcome to Tutors Funny channel. This is a Part 2 video of Node.js, Mongodb and Angular. So here in our last class we saw the get all function and create. Right, how to add the record and view the records. In this class I'm going to talk about the update part. So what I'm going to do is, so let's get this URL. I'm going to explain, don't worry. If I write this one, take too much of time to complete. So here, third one, this one, you have to go. You type routes, route. So this is the route object you are getting. There is a predefined function on the dot route. So here you have to write like this. Here I already show you this. Here route, the predefined function is route. So here you have to call the path. If the URL is coming like this, when the URL is coming like this here, when the URL is coming like this, here you can notice that when you get the records, when you view the records, there is a function which is a get. Okay, when you post the values to the database, when you type the form, when you fill the form and click submit button, the value is posting to the database. So this is a posting method. This is retrieving the data from the database. This is the posting the value to the database. After that, there is another function which is a patch. Patch we use to update the record. Okay, so you have a records. Okay, you have a records in the database. You have to make the changes and click save again. So the record should be updated, not recreate the record. The existing record need to be updated. So we have to write the method which is a patch. Node.js, they have the methods get, post and patch, right? So the CRUD operation, there's a different method, right? Get, post and patch. Okay, easily understand. So how to check user update ID? ID mean you have a record on the database. Okay, so when you update the particular record, you update the record via the ID, because ID is a unique. So that we have get the ID and update the employee records, right? So here this patch user controller, this is a controller, there's an update. So I will be telling the flow, how the flow works. First you have to go to the controller. Controller will be passing the record to service. Okay, this is a route passing the record. This is you see the URL coming like this. This is a route.js. It passing the controller pass to the service pass to the model is the part where communicate with the MongoDB database and update the records into the database table, right? That's a flow, working flow. Now we have created the function update user controller in our controller class. So here I'm going to create the controller. Go to the Nodejs. Here you have to type the controller. There's a function update, right? So you have to, I'll be explain, don't worry. So create this one here, whereas update. Paste it over here, right? Now you can see here, this is a function. When the URL is coming, user control update, it goes to the controller class update function. You can see the assign task, require, it pass two variables, request and response. You get the request and send the response. Now you get the request. What is the request you are getting? You are getting the request, this request. This URL. So when the request is coming, it passes the controller. Now here in the controller will be get the request. Here the record is get the request. Okay, the get the request, passing the request param ID mean you get the ID, particular ID over here. You have to check the console where the console ID is successfully display on. And request body means all the records we are checking like this, right? You have to put the request body and request param. You will be check the ID whether ID is passing correct or not, right? After that, you have to what you have to create the variable result. You have to put the await you have to put it here. You have to write assign, right? This method. So here control will be passing via, okay, the flow, how the flow control is the when the request is coming, it passing to the request to the which service there is a function here. We have to create update one user. Okay, update one, you can create whatever name. I have created update one, update user service. Create update user service, right? Update user service. Here request param ID, here this ID param, you get the ID, get request, you write the params dot id and request body, right? When you update the record, there is a body. Okay, if your first name, last name, your name, address, phone number, there is a body. Okay, ID means the particular ID. Okay, the name, address, phone number, that one person details. So that person requires relevant ID, it passing to this para. Okay, when you update the record, you get the particular person's ID and update. Okay, because why I getting the ID mean ID should be unique, so that we have get the ID, particular ID, and update the records into the database. That's how the service works. Now here this result, if you have to check here, if result, okay, now here I'm going to this one. Before that, this is a request you are sending. Okay, whether it's request sending via user service. So user service, you have to check it here. You have to create here this one user service. You are starting here. You have to create it here as user service. There's an update method, update function here. Paste it, copy it. I'm going to go to the paste it over, right? Here it passing the request to update user. This is the function I have written there, right? Update user, right? So here when we ask the controller, this controller, you click on this, it's come to the update user, get the particular ID and body details. So here it will be passing here request parameters ID and body mean the details. It passing to where, to this array. Okay, when the request is coming here, and after that you can check whether request is coming or not. You can console.log employee user details, you can check it here. User details, you can read user details, you can check it here, user details, right? Okay, after that you can see the new promise in service. we have created the promise, which is a function which will be handling the URLs. We are handling the request and response URL. So here, when the request is success, it will be passing to the resource. Resolve will be work. If the request is failure, reject. There should be two functions: resolve and reject in the promise. When you create the file promise, if the result is succeed, resolve will be work. If the result is failure, reject will be work. So it will be communicated with via user model. User model, find ID and update. There is a predefined method here. Okay, find, okay, ID and update. The predefined method. Find ID and update. Right? The find ID update. The predefined method. Okay, in user model. Right? Find ID update. Right? This is the predefined method. Right? In Node.js, ID user details. So this ID and user details we are passing here. Function return data, error result. You have to write like this, error result. So here you have to write if error, you have code this one, this error. If it is error, it will be reject false. If it is, here we have to pass the if it is resolved. When the request is correct, it is resolved. Result will be work. Okay, if it is working, one will be communicate via the models. Models mean this is the model. The user schema. This is the model. We are the this is the model. We are communicate with the database and update the record into the table. Right. This is how the formula works. Right. Very simple. Right. Now what I'm going to do is here I'm going to go to save all things we are save all. Now let's select here server. Sorry. Here node server .js. Now we will be running the server first. What was there? Right. The problem is here. Right, correct. If there is any error here, this one we didn't export it. That's why here we create the function, but we didn't export it. That's why the error came. Okay, that's it. We understand the error. Okay, here it's simply when you get the error, the no person will be here. Route patch require the callback function mean you have create the function particular function, but you haven't exported. That's why the function this error will be coming, right? So let's save. Again, I am going to go to the service.js page. Here also details, user details also I am going to error. Here I am going to wrong this one also. Right, user details also I wrote it wrong. So save all. Now again run the project server. Now it started DB connected. Now let's go to the open the Postman. Now here this is the update part, right? So here this is the how to write the update. You can write like this. Yeah, I'll be showing you how to write. Where's my notepad? Nodejs. Right now here you can see what is the URL, the route, right now here you can see here this is a route. Say route. This is when the URL type user type URL like this. The same URL go here. Here you can see here this update. So you can see update. This is the ID. Okay, this is the ID. Right? You can see here user update particular ID. ID I have get it here. You can simply user update is the port where it will be running. Method you have to select as patch over here. ID user ID. You get your wait, let's get all. We'll check get all function how the function is work. Not patch get all the employee IDs over here. You can see here. Now here this PWS I'm going to update. So get the ID and update. So how to copy this ID? User, what is the function? You have to write update slash particular id. This one you have to change it as address. This is the phone number. Now what I'm going to do is here I'm going to this field name you have to change this name, right? So I'm going to update this particular id. This is a Peter. I'm going to try type Peter and email address and phone number like this. Click send button. Sorry, you have to send patch at this time. Updated successfully. Now let's check here. Get all. Send request. Not like the get. You make sure the appropriate request. Okay, get and post. Okay, here Peter and all things are successfully changed. Right, perfect. It's working perfect. Now let's go to the update part, delete part. So how the routes work, the delete. Okay, now let's the same thing. We are doing it as a delete as well. Go back to my routes. The remove the same function, the same like this. Paste over here. Right. Now here, when the request is coming, route, when the request is coming, user remove, it goes, they are here, a different function. When you get the records, calling the get request, when you post the, when you create the record, post request, update the record, patch request, delete the record, delete request. Okay, here it will be changed. Very simply, Node.js they are implemented these functions. Okay, get, post, patch, and delete. They implemented different function for each operation, right? So user control, we have to create the method delete user. So how to create? Go to the user control. We have to create the method which is the delete. So let's I go to here and copy this one. Right now here, how to write this one is here. You can see here var delete user. This is the function we have to create here. Request and response. We get the request from where? Server request. You get the server request and your console log you can check whether the request coming or not. Here you can see here, right? So here you can check var request avoid. So this is an update one. This record you have to update like this. So same thing here, we have to do the console log over here. When you delete the record, you get the particular ID. If you going to delete the record as John, get him the ID and get delete all the rows. So that's the same thing you have to do. You have to get the ID. So get as a param here. Yeah, var result you have to get the variable. You have to put the avoid. You have to get this one, right? So user service you have to create the function remove user db request param get the ID. So now what I'm going to so process, go to the service, we have to create the user delete function. So go to the delete user delete function. So here you have to delete. Back over here, paste it over here, right? So here you can see here the one more thing I forgot it. If you implement this function, you have to copy this and below here model export comma you have to paste it, then only it will work, right? So after that you have to get the remove. Come to the remove user function. So remove function here, get the ID, get the particular ID. You're sending the ID through this controller. You're getting the ID here. This sending this ID param. Here this function it's coming the ID via by the ID. So this if you implement this here, you can see the update. There will be two parameters will be passed, ID and body. Here only ID will be coming. Here receiving the ID. Here you can see here the update one ID and body. The two things are coming and put in the argument. So here ID will be coming. So it will be passing to the promise here resolve and reject function. It through it there will be the if you delete the record in user model in Mongodb here they are defined find and delete this function in Node.js. So here this function what does is delete the record from the database. So ID get the ID function here it will be argument you have set it as error and request. Okay, so if it is error, it will be reject the request. If it is result, it will be resolve. Resolve means if the request is succeed, it the resolve will be work. If any database problem, any error display, it will be rejected, will be a, it's communicate with the models. Okay, models apart, we are communicate with the database, right? So the model I will be explaining here. This is schema, right? So how to pass a request, now you have idea. Route will passing the request to controller. Controller will be passing the request to where? Service. Service the process we have done the operation, right? Service is done the operation. So where the model, and it's back to the result. Right now, we done the delete part. Now let's save all. Now go to the, my server is already running here. No need to execute the server again. Here we have to delete request. You have to method delete. So you try how to delete, use a delete. When the request is delete slash, I'm going to delete this and Peter's records. Paste over here. Okay, now you have to not body, you have to send it. You have to none it. Click send. What error? Can't delete user. What is the error here? Sorry, not here. Open up here. It's not, sorry, not delete. Here request it, not delete. Here remove. You have set as remove. Right, not delete. You have to, if you want, you can check it here. Delete as well. It's working. When the result is coming, delete. Now you can save all. Now the delete will be work. Okay, I have put it the delete. But it's not working. Delete user, delete the particular ID. Back to my terminal again, Node.js terminal. Again, I'm going to run the server. If there's a problem with the server, while the problem here. Now, if you are the ID is okay, the record has been deleted. Now again, I'm going to send it right here. Delete record is deleted. Record has been deleted. Right. So if you want to check another delete part, so here I'm going to type. You can see get all function. Okay, that record is deleted. I want to delete this record here. Copy it. So here, go to the first return method, delete, use a delete flash the respective ID, send it, use a delete. Now you have to get all function, get it. Nothing will be there. All things are removed. Right? Perfect. It's working perfect. This is how we have done the front end for. Right? In my next video tutorial, I'm going to teach about the backend part we already done. In my next video tutorial, I'm going to start my uh, front end part, which is a no Angular. Thank you for watching. Now I successfully complete the backend. Now I'm going to start with the front end part. So what I'm going to do is front end, I'm going to start with React. So get started React. So to install the React. Click here, over here. Now here you can start create a new app. Here you have to type this by typing this command to install the new app, right? So Control C to copy, paste it over here. You have to type your front end app. This is front end app. Press enter key. Now you have to wait until the process completed. Okay, this is how we have to. This is the name we have to give to install our front end application. We have to wait until the process completed. Now the React app installed successfully. Now let's back to our project. This is the front end app. Okay, inside here you have to type here code space cmd. If you install the VS Code editor, we already installed. So you have to type code space dot and get your all the project structure into your VS Code editor. Here where you will be able to write the codes in your React. Now your project React is open up. Okay. Here you can see here this is my Nodejs. Okay. The Nodejs I'm going to run the app as Nodejs first. It's a backend part. We'll run the app. Okay. This is must. Right. So here you have to run the app. CMD. We already checked through the Postman. It's working perfectly well. So now you have to connect with our front end application and React. So you have to write node server node.js. Now you can see our both need to be the server port need to be started and database want to be connected. Both are server started well and DB connected well. Now let's test it to front end. Right, front end. You can see this is a folder structure. I, I open the project into my VS Code editor. You can see here. This is the main file of the React. uh, Main application is the public. You go to the public index.html. This is single page application React. You can see the root folder here where my all the single page application is loaded up. Right now, what I'm going to do is here I'm going to run the app and see if you run the app. What happens is here it goes to the app.js, right? So in this file is open and run it here along with the React logo and all. So how to run up the app? You can run, you can here now let's run the React app. So how to run the React app? Here you can give the instruction here cd front end app. Okay, now here in this folder, so not here, this front end. Now here you can run it on this front end. Here you have to run it in the front end. Okay, front end. So we have to type here. So you have to write how to type here is here it explains cd front end app, because this is the command from command. You go inside this folder. Okay, now you are in the outside the folder. Yeah, inside the go inside the folder and run the command. Then only you will be able to run the app. Okay, so press enter key. Now you can type npm. It start how to run the React app. Npm start. After install that, they given the instruction how to run the React app. They clearly mention. Okay, you don't worry about that. Okay, after install the React app, they clearly mention. The React tell everything how to run the app. Okay, if you create the React app folder, you go inside the folder. So you are trying to change the cd front end app inside the. If you open up the particular folder, you have to run the app using this by typing this command npm start. Now your React application is open here. It will be configuring everything, and you open up your app. Just wait until the app opens. Now your React app is loaded started. Now you can see the console. Here it will be started here. Starting the development server. Your development server is started. Right here it's loaded. After loaded, you can get the message here. This is a port. It's loaded. Right. This is the welcome page of React. Now here installation is completed successfully. Right. Okay, now you can see this page where it is reside on the inside the app.js. You can see inside the return, you can see this page file. Okay, now if you are remove it as a basics, right, you type h1. Instead of that, you type h1. Type something like hello React. Save all and bringing back to your browser here. Hello React. It will be displayed. Simple. Now your application is working perfectly, right? Now what I'm going to do is the React. It's working as a component base. Okay. Now I no need this all things I will need to remove it. Okay. React is open up the component base. We have this one component here app.js. It along with the CSS file. Okay. So here you can see, look at this is a simple function. The function is started and close it. Inside the function, we have to write the return. Okay, it will be returning the view. This app, this component, you have to export it the outside. You have to write export default app. This is the function you have to export it the outside. Then only it will be working. Right? Now I'm going to create another component. Select src, new folder, name it as components. This is the efficient way to do the application. This name I'm going to give as employee Crud. Right. Sorry. Employee Crud rename as JS. Okay. Employee Crud JS. Okay. Sorry. I just remove it, and again I'm going to create the file. Employee Crud.js. Press the enter key. Your file has been created with the name of employee crud.js. Now here, what I'm going to do is, this is the our application. I'm going to just copy and paste it, and I'll be sorry. Before that, I'll be showing you the same thing, the same code. I just copy it and paste it over here, right? So this name I'm going to change it as a employee. What is the page you have created? Employee create. This is a page you have created. This one you have to export the outside, right? Now here, what I'm going to do is inside here. Inside this return function, you have to export all your HTML codes. Okay, HTML codes mean these codes. I'll be explaining. Don't worry. This all the divs in the within the return. Right. So here it will be started. You can see here return div started div closing. Okay, div closing. This is the closing command. Okay, React, right? So here employee registration, employee details. It is a your heading of the heading. So here we have to put the div tag. In div tag we have a form. We have right over here. Div tag we have a three fields. First field is hidden. So ID field I have hidden. First is a ID. Second is a name field. Third is a address. Fourth is a mobile. Okay. We have four fields. One is a hidden field, which is a ID. Okay. We no need to show up the ID. As when you register the employee details, we no need the ID because I have generated as a auto generated field which is secure ID in Mongodb. It's a very secure. Okay, right? It auto generated, randomly generated ID, very secure ID. I already show when I show the demo to you. Okay, I when I show the demo to you, I show how the ID will be generated, very secure in Node.js, right? Right. Now you can see here each field. You can see here this is the HTML form. Okay, input type employee name here. Employee name, it's a text field. This is a bootstrap controller, the bootstrap. Okay, bootstrap, we didn't install the bootstrap yet. So let me install the bootstrap. Okay, so let's install the bootstrap. You will be open up the terminal over here. Okay, you can install. Otherwise, the very fast thing is go here the front end. It's the front end. Okay, already my project is running. You no need to close the project, right? So this is that is not an error. That is the warning telling. Okay, so here I'm going to type again here console. Here I'm going to type this is the project directory. This is your project directory. Okay, so here your node modules. Node modules, you have to install the another modules. Modules mean dependencies. The bootstrap, if you work with the backend part, there is a node modules there. Okay, in Node.js, Node.js and front end application. Okay, here we have to install all the relevant dependencies. If you want to install the bootstrap, you have to install the relevant bootstrap dependency. So you have how to install the dependency. You type npm. I stands for install. You type bootstrap. Press enter key. It automatically connect with the internet and download the dependencies and put into the node modules folder. Okay. Whatever dependencies you have to download it downloaded and put into your node modules folder. Very simple. They are implemented the front end and back end. Very simple. Okay. Okay, you can see it very simple. Right. It installed successfully. Right. Okay. Now after that, I'm going to give the path. Right. I'll give the path. Don't worry about that. I'll be telling that how to the path I'm telling. So here, this one should be. I'll be explaining. Don't worry. Here go to the node modules. You can see here after install the bootstrap, you can see here this alphabetical order. You can go and search alphabetical order. A after B, it's a bootstrap is there. You can see the bootstrap. Here bootstrap is installed. You have to give the path. Okay, you can give the path. Here you can see the path will be showing. So simply I already done the project. So how to implement the path here over here? Go to the app.js is the main file. Here above you can give the path. If you apply the app.js is the main file, all the bootstrap is applied all the application. Okay, because it's working as a component. The app is the main component. If you apply the bootstrap, you are given the path. Okay, my bootstrap is decided on bootstrap. This is the folder. Bootstrap folder. You have to implement this one. Okay, if you are right like this, it automatically React will be considered inside the node modules. We don't need to give the name of all the things. Node modules, it goes to node module. It is look at is there any folder which is a bootstrap. It's look at it. Okay, it's going to check if it is there. It's go inside the folder dist. Okay, so where's the bootstrap? Here is there. Bootstrap is there. Go inside the folder. It's there. Dist css bootstrap min.js. If you style it, it will become right. Perfect. Right. Now let's save all. Right. Now what you are going to go here. My bootstrap is a bootstrap content. Then only will be able to type bootstrap. Right. Now here we have a fields. Input type text controller. We have to implement the name, employee name. We have to write ID name, value name. This is must value, and you have to write on change event. Here we have to set name. Set name I am going to teach in few minutes. In React, all the things we maintain as a state. Okay, the function state. We are maintain as a state, use state. Okay, it will be function. If you are type something here, this text field, what is the name you are typing here, it will be stored as a state. Okay, it will be this name, it will be assigned to the state function. Okay, whatever address you are typing, this is the value, this value stored as a set address state. Okay, here also what is the phone number you are type, it's getting and set. Okay, here value is stored and setting to this set mobile. This value are stored in the set mobile, set address, set name. Okay, this is the React program. Right. Now the function. Now I'm going to create the function. This is a function. Okay, here this is the app. Inside the return you have to write the HTML code. Okay, this inside the function. What I'm going to do is we have to create all the stuff. Okay, so here I just copy this all the things. Now you will be easily understand. Right. Now the function. Right. Function, you can see here. This is how we have managed the state. ID. This is the ID in our front end. Okay, you can see the front end. You can see the ID. It's the ID. You can see this is the ID. You can see this is how the Mongodb ID will be generated. So we have to create the variable ID, set ID, use state, name, sets name, address, set address, mobile, set address, mobile, set mobile, employee, set user. This way we loading the tables, right? So these variables you already know. Set name. Okay, when you here the process is work like this. What is the value you are typing? This value set this name. So you can see here name set this name, address set this address, phone set that address. This all the fields you can see here. Address and phone. Right? After click save button, what happens is it goes to the function save function. The save function, this is the save function. Here. Save function event. Here is the event. This event means when you click the button, there is an event. So click, that's a what is the event that's working is click event. So event, you write event on private default. You write a try and catch block, identify the error. Okay. So here you have to write the avoid AXOS post. Okay. Now here we didn't install the modules. We did yet. So we'll install this module. Then only we will be able to access this RESTful API. Okay, right? So how to install? You have to go here. Simply you type npm I ax, the same name, AXIOX. Now here the dependencies get installed into the node module, right? Right, it will be installed successfully. Perfect. Save out, right? It's installed successfully. It goes to this API. This all the API I already discussed about the Postman. If you want to create the new record, you have to write to this API. Okay, user create. You can see here the our backend. You can see this get all user create. User create. We have a here. This is the port in my this is the port we set it. Okay, backend here, the server, this is a server port. Okay, this server port, you have set the server port as well, right? User create, it goes to this particular API. Name, address, and phone number. These fields are coming from where? The value, you can see the name, address, and mobile. ID should be auto increment, we don't need them. Once you add the record, ID automatically increment that. Okay, it's not. Okay, when you click save, that's the things we done. Right now, let's save. Now let's back to our application and refresh it, whether it's working fine or not. All right. Why it's a problem is happened? We didn't call this function. I just copied this one, this name, go to my app.js. Here, instead of that, you have to write this class. Now you have to implement the component. Employee Crud. Try the component. Now let's save all. Check it back. Component, right? The problem is the name should be the wrong. Components. This rename the same thing. Paste it over here. Right. Control S to save all and bring me back to the application. Use state, use effect. This is not defined. Right. The problem is here. Once installed, what's the problem? Okay, problem is this. We didn't implement the namespace. That was the problem. We didn't import the namespace. We'll import it. Now here I'm going to import the libraries. Okay, import AXOS from this package. Import use effect and use state. This one should be the maintain the React. Okay, so this one important. This is the state. Okay, this all the variables we have to follow by the state, right? So use effect, it will be load the app, right? React, right? Now here, now let's run up and check the error go away. Now the error go away here. It's working perfectly well. Now if you are type the record here, James India mobile number, click register button, register successfully. How to the problem is works. So here it goes to the what's the name you type on this field, name, address, and mobile phone. It goes to the same value, the same name. This is a form value. The form value will be this is a form value. Okay, set into our database. The same name, address, and all things are in our backend application as well. If you go to the backend modules here, the same name is there. It will be added into the database. Right, that's it. After that, you have to print the message as employee registration successfully. It clear all the things. Load the table. Table loading. Here we have to do the function in post. Let's say here we have get function will be work. If we are load the now the get function, this is the URL. Here set users result data dot data. So here that's how we have set the request. Okay, so this how here API will be working. So this one should be passing to the table. Here table, this is employees. Employees, I have already created the state here. State set users. Here set user. This is the API request we are sending. Okay, sending. Okay, then you will get the request and passing to this the result. The result if it, this API get the result and passing the result variable result variable dot data dot data. This is how we have get the API request. So here right click. Here you can test on the console. Out to the request coming, you can check here object, here data, here this is how the record will be displayed. Here data will be there. So that we have to write here data. Okay, that's how we get the result. Right, data dot data. So that's how the result will be displayed. Okay, right. So this one load the API. You're passing to the table. So employees dot map. This is the function map function which will be fetch the data from the database and passing to the table. Fetch the data from the database and passing to the table. So here employee ID, name, address, and phone number. After that, you can see that we have created two different functions. Those are edit employee and delete employee. This is a complete component we are passing. Employee state, all the record is there. It will passing to the here. You can see here. We have to start here as plural. Here singular, plural, right? The singular, you can see here employee. This is complete. When you edit the employee, you click the entire employee. This all the record will be. If you click on this one, it passing to the employee function. Get the data and passing the set name, address, mobile number. This all things passing to the relevant text fields. After that, if you want to edit the record, you have to write. You have to call this patch. This is a patch. Patch means you have to set here also patch. You can see the server also. You have to set the patch method. You can see the patch method in the server as well. Where's the routes? Routes you can say patch method. Okay, the same thing you have to write here. Patch update employee find. You have to write this. You have to call this IDs. Okay, get the ID from the get the ID and set it and update the record into the database. Right, perfect. Registration update and clear the fields. Right. Okay. After that, when you delete the record, what happens is here we have a separate method. It's a delete. When you click delete button, it get the ID. What's the ID? Because delete the record means the specific ID. Okay, the ID should be the primary key. Get the ID. It goes to the delete employee function. Delete employee, get the ID. Delete method. It will be called the delete API. Get the ID and delete the entire row. This is how the API works in React. This simple stuff. This is all the source code I provide in my website. You will be able to get it. And I hope you guys. I already showed the demo. If you have any doubt on this, you can ask me. Here you can click delete button here, record deleted. If you want to edit the record, delete it. If you edit the record, you will be able to edit the record here. Click update. Record has been updated. Everything perfectly well. Thank you for watching.